Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 6. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, production takes us back down memory lane. Production decides to take us down the timeline of Marlo and Kandi's relationship. We also see Kandi in a never-before-seen confessional say that Marlo actually has a good heart and people like to use her past against her. Okay, now catch that tea. We also see Kandi definitely embrace Marlo when she came to her house and told her that when her nephew passed, she was just upset. She didn't know what to do. And Kandi said, well, my brother passed when I was 15. I believe she said when she was 15. And she said she just felt numb. Marlo, you lied on that woman. You lied on her. You said she completely dismissed your feelings and kept on eating her OLG chicken wings, honey. It was a lie. Okay, because this little snippet also showed me that maybe that's why Kandi didn't respond via text the way that Marlo wanted her to. It's because that she's dealt with death and she's kind of numb to it as it relates to people passing. Marlo, you got a little lying problem. Now, I don't know where y'all went wrong, honey. I don't know when it started to turn into something new. I'm completely confused because judging by the timeline, y'all were cool. And she definitely tried to relate to what you were going through. She really did. And you sat right there. Now, if you wanted something more from her in that moment, you should have said to her, well, girl, I hear you. And I know you've been through the same thing as well. But I'm just looking for a little bit more. I mean, you should have said something. And then we also see when you sat with her last season saying that she's the only person that sends Cashaps and graduation presents and this, that, and this and that. And then you turned right back around and called her a pro. Child, something wrong with you. Anywho. Moving forward. In the next scene, Marlo and her posse, they go out for dinner. Hey, y'all. They go out to get messy. So Marlo sits down. They start talking about her love life and how she looking for a man and she ain't really looking for no man, but they looking for one for her. So she don't want to talk about that. Okay. She's like, listen, I hear y'all about the love life and whatnot. I'm good. I want to talk about what I want to talk about. And y'all know what that is. Yeah, you guessed it. It's Kandi. So she brings up Courtney throwing an event and Drew telling Kenya what happened when she had a problem with Drew. You know, she was talking about what went down in Birmingham. She said Drew probably ran it back to Kenya all wrong. And that's why Kenya was all up in arms. So she's telling her how Drew brought up the incident and Kandi gave Drew basically a death stare. Like, why are you speaking on me? Everybody in this room knows better than to speak on me. Okay, well, speak on it then. So Marlo was saying the heifers was scared, honey. She said Kandi gave Drew a look and Drew knew to use a word like incident. And she was like, listen, I feel like if it were me, it would be this big old to-do. But Drew was up there using synonyms and I don't like that. She feels like Kandi can't just use the platform to promote her businesses. Marlo, you sound silly as hell. Actually, that's what y'all all should be doing. Instead of utilizing the platform, you up here rehashing old beef. Honey, this don't even make no sense. You have concocted a beef in your mind with this woman and brought it on this stage today. It's not making no sense. This show is to get you in front of people. It's to put eyes on you. You use it as a catalyst to do something else. This is not going to last forever. And quite frankly, honey, this is no shade. The way that the Housewives franchises go up and down and round, honey, we don't know if y'all gonna be here tomorrow. So you saw how they did in New York. Baby, they scrapped all them women and started with somebody totally new. It's an entirely different cast. Now they got those women over there talking about the legacy. If you don't promote yourself on here, I don't know what you're going to do. And I find it so ironic that you have a problem with her promoting her businesses when you were promoting that wig line and Kenya bust up on the scene talking about Kenya more hair care. You also were promoting Le Archive with an E. So what is wrong with her promoting things? I don't understand that. Whatever you're working on, you should be promoting it. Every housewife does that. Child, you'll be a fool not to. Moving forward. I feel like this. Every week you have a different grievance. Last season, it was because she wasn't hands-on and she was barely there for you. Honey, she barely is there for her own family. Okay, I just feel like you require so much. Okay, so you know how you have certain friends that you can literally not talk to them for like 50 years and then y'all pick back up where you left off and it's like, hey girl, like you just talked to them yesterday. And then you have some friends that are needier than others. I feel like Marlo is the friend that needs a lot of attention. And that's where they're not equally yoked as far as wanting to be friends or even a friendship if it could exist, because Marlo needs a lot and Kandi ain't got no time for it. Sometimes you just need more and you expect more of a person and you ain't giving it in return. Marlo, you're not a very good friend, honey. You're not. Because don't think I forgot about last season. Now listen, I know some people have their problems with Marlo and I know some people have their issues with Kandi. I'm going to call out both sides. Marlo, you have not been what you expect from others. And that's just that on that. So Marlo was telling them, she was like, look, I told Drew that she needed to hold her accountable because Drew was just yelling, standing up in my face. She was like, I was just sitting there. I was actively listening. Marlo, Drew was not yelling at you. Okay, she was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Now, I told y'all when I did my first few reviews that Drew was going to show up on the scene in confusion. Did I not? I told y'all. If it's one thing I know, it's my Atlanta Housewives. I told y'all Drew was going to show up in confusion, and that's exactly what she did. She was confused as to what the hell you were talking about. You got up and started yelling, my nephew is unalived, honey, because, I mean, now listen, Marlo, don't come over here talking about I should have said the word. This is YouTube, okay? And I got to get monetized, so I can't just be saying words all willy-nilly. You started yelling in her face. So I'm just not understanding how you're running back this rendition of events and we can clearly see the receipts. She was like, girl, next thing I know, I just exploded. I was mad. I don't know where it came from, but I felt like it was because Kandi wasn't acknowledging what happened at her restaurant. It just triggered me because she didn't acknowledge my nephew and it just spilled over. So her friends were saying maybe it's because she didn't want to talk about it. And it took her back to 2 years ago when Kandi didn't want to talk about her nephew being unalived. Now, listen, I'm not saying certain things don't give you flashbacks, but this is going on the 6th episode. Now, if you feel like she did not acknowledge you, then don't fool with her. It's as simple as that. You ain't my type of chick. When I told you something that was hurting me, you act like you didn't give a damn. You looked me in my face and basically was like, I don't give a damn. So if you don't care nothing about me, I don't care nothing about you. Just don't fool with her. Because for me, this is screaming storyline. That's what this is giving me. And it's really not making any sense. So her friend was like, you know, I feel like the life coach is really helping you to connect the dots. So Marlo said in her confessional that Kandi just skipped right on over it. But, you know, that's Kandi Burris. Girl, stop. Just stop. We saw the receipts. She did, in fact, embrace you, Marlo. She did. Did you want her to pay for the funeral or cater the repast? What did you want from her? That's what we really need to get down to. What is it that would have made this different? Tell us what we can do to help you, ma'am, because it's not just about her acknowledging it, because clearly we see that she did acknowledge it. So what's the problem? I can understand her feeling some type of grief. But I damn sure can't understand you bringing it up 3 years later. And you done seen this woman, Kiki, been all up in the house, honey, packing Riley to go off to NYU and all kinds of things. So I don't understand what do you need from her, honey? What is it? I mean, I think you expected, since you knew Kandi and he worked at Blaze, that she would offer more than a hug. I think that's what it is. You want her to pay for it, or you want her to give some money, honey. You want her to do something other than just hug you and tell you about her brother. That's the bottom line. In the next scene, Sonya and her family, they at the house. And I was just wondering, y'all, like, where is Ross? We ain't seen him all season except through that phone. Now, honey, I know the season ain't, you know, really picked up yet. We just on episode 6. But, girl, where's your husband? And girl say, what now? So her sister, her, and her mom, they're in the kitchen. And Sonya is telling them that the Mommy Nation merch is going to be on belts.com. It's an online brand that reaches millions a month. Now, I was looking at this scene, and I don't know if I would share that with my sister because she always got the screw face on. Like, are you happy for your sister or not? Because I'm just looking at her like, girl, what's wrong with you? Like, when she eats, y'all eat. It would be different if Sonya was selfish. Okay, now, I mean, certain things about Sonya is selfish because she wants the family to live together forever to help her raise Deuce. But outside of that, she's still making sure that she takes care of her family as well. So anywho, she was saying that their merch is going to be on there. So she gets shady and she was like, I mean, I can't depend on everyone. So her mama said, well, you know, you can depend on me. So Sonya looks at her sister and she was like, you know, I realized the way that I said things may have offended you when I told y'all that Ross was ready for y'all to leave. So of course her sister was like, yeah, I was shocked. Cause I mean, the setup works best for y'all. Sonya is even a flip-flopper with her own husband, honey. She's sitting here with the mama and the sister talking about, yeah, I was telling him, you know, you need to realize that we have live-in help and nannies and we don't have to pay. I'm just confused as to why they can't still help you at a separate address. Why they gotta live there? Okay, so they moved to Atlanta for Sonya. And I'm thinking it's because of this show. And if you moved there for Sonya, you should have put them up in their own place so that you would be able to take Deuce over there or whatever it is that you needed to do. But I know you don't think your husband was going to want to live with them forever. She said, I just feel like Ross doesn't look at the logistics. So her sister is like, look, he leave all the time. So I don't even know what he's talking about. He probably leaving because he wants some peace. It's too many grown people in one house. You can't get to bumping and grinding and doing whatever it is you need to do with all these grown people. You can't do what you need to do. Maybe if y'all had a guest house and they could stay over there, honey, I don't know. Y'all need to get it together. She said she gonna talk to him about a realistic timeline, and her sister was like, girl, I'm leaving regardless. Her mama said, oh no, we're leaving. I mean, your dad wants to stay. Now, her sister's attitude is giving stank, and it is giving ungrateful. But I'm telling y'all right now, I don't blame her sister on wanting to leave anyway. I'm not about to sit around without a plan and wait for you to give me notice. Hell no. You told me you wanted me to leave, so therefore and thus and such, I will be out. Honey, just give me a minute. I don't blame her on that. Now, her attitude is awful, but I do not blame her for wanting to leave. And I don't blame Ross for wanting them to leave. It's best to just rip the Band-Aid off. Don't tiptoe through it. Just rip it off and move. And it also might make you and your sister's relationship better because I don't know what's going on, but when you had Glam and Gold back on, I think it was on WeTV, y'all were really close. But now it's just something, I don't know what's going on, honey. So her mom in the confessional was just like, you know, I go back and forth. I want to go and enjoy my life, but at the same time, I want to help her. So since she said that, Sonya is like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to convince him too hard to let mama and dad stay because I'm sure that's going to be easy. So then her sister got mad. Ma'am, if y'all leaving, then go. Why is she going to go to bat for you if you telling her you going to leave anyway? Like, girl, goodbye. In the next scene, Kenya and Akilah, they go to see where Kenya's salon is going to be. Honey, Kenya More Hair Care, the salon. Salon and spas, honey. Salon and suites. Salon on the park. Child. Kenya the builder is back. Kenya, now don't show Marlo this because she going to be upset with you for promoting Kenya More Hair Care. You know, y'all ain't supposed to be promoting no shows on this show. Child, you see how stupid that sound? So, anywho, they sit down. She starts talking about her love life and how she likes Roy and she doesn't know how it's going to work because Roy is always gone. It's long distance and she can't build a relationship if they never see each other. She was like, yeah, you know, Mark was long distance and, you know, I married him in 7 months. She's like, I've known Roy for over a year and we're nowhere near marriage. Girl, please don't be in a rush. And please do not compare your relationship with Mark and his nose ring to this relationship over here because we see how that turned out. So we might want to take our time. So Akilah goes, girl, it's cool. Listen, just take your time. I'm going to be your Zen friend. Kenya is like, good, because these heifers, they get nasty. So then she brings up Marlo, but she said that Marlo attacked Brooklyn. Now listen to me. Sometimes we have to call a thing a thing. Kenya, I like you, but she did not attack Brooklyn. She attacked your damn dough, but she did not attack Brooklyn. She said that Marlo kicked the door, which is true. And Brooklyn woke up and she was like, Mommy, I'm scared. Mommy, what's going on? Oh, poor baby. Let me tell you something. I would have cussed Marlo smooth the hell out, startling my baby. Now, that's not exactly an attack on Brooklyn, but you startling her would have got you cussed out. And that's just the bottom line. In the next scene, Sheree is at home and Cairo and the new baby stop by. Now, why y'all use that baby crying sound? I was like, production, cut it out, because Sheree was bragging about how sweet the baby is and how the baby never cries. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, child, y'all play too much. Anywho, Cairo came on in and he's with this lady and he's with the baby. And I was just thinking to myself, Cairo, introduce us to your lady friend. Honey, we don't know this lady. So Sheree was like, look, I found out when Elena was like 4 months pregnant. He was just staring at me and I was like, what's going on? And he said, I got a baby on the way. Okay, is she your girlfriend? Like, what is happening? So she said Cairo is really involved. Elena, that is. She's telling Sheree. She said he's really involved and some of her friends, they don't have that. And let me just say this. It should be the norm that the father is hands-on, but sadly, it's not always the case. And I think that's a blessing. For her to have that, it really is. So Sheree, here she go. Sounding just like a grandma. Talking about, I raised 3 kids. It's about time for y'all to put some cereal in a bottle. Why every mama wants you to hurry up and put cereal in that baby bottle? Child, my son wasn't a good 2 months. Mom was like, yeah, to make him sleep through the night, you might want to put a little cereal in his bottle. I'm like, I'm not putting no cereal in his bottle, child. I'm not about to do it. So she burped the baby. The baby went right on to sleep. I'm like, I know that's right, honey. My kind of girl. So they're trying to do this little mold thing with her hands, but they have to get her hands wet. So they go over to the sink to wet her hands. After Cairo got done soaking her hands within an inch of his life, they did her handprint. And in the confessional, Sheree got really emotional about the dad that Cairo is actually becoming. She's like, I didn't think he was ready at first, but seeing him with her, it just proves that he actually is ready. And y'all know what I was thinking? We went from seeing these kids as children to them having their own kids. Like, that's just crazy. That just shows you how long this show has been on air. Like, this man has his own child. He's actually a man. Remember, Cairo was so silent. I will never forget Sheree was in there trying to find him some shoes, child, and he was wearing a size 14, and she couldn't believe his feet was a 14, and he was just as quiet. He never said a word. Child, this is crazy. And now he got a whole baby. And Sheree, that was beautiful. It really was, because he wasn't given the best example by Big Bob. So the fact that he is making sure that he doesn't make the same mistakes, that's great. That's awesome. Now, listen, I wish we could get more of this, Sheree. Okay, you being a proud glam mom and a proud mom, because that's everything. That's what we need more of. Not this old Sheree doing whatever it is you be doing, child. Moving forward. In the next scene, Ralph and Drew, they at the house. Hey, y'all. So her son he's practicing his basketball skills because she says she wants to nurture his gifts, which I think is always a good thing because they did that for her when she wanted to act when she was a kid and whatnot. So she starts telling Ralph about cousin Courtney's event. Please stop calling that lady cousin Courtney. First of all, Drew, you don't know how Ralph hooked up with this lady. We don't even know this lady really. Okay, you went out of town to take care of your sick daddy and you come back and you got a whole cousin-in-law. We don't know this woman. We just don't know her. But anywho, cousin Courtney is throwing an event. And she was like, I really don't want to be around Marlo. So Ralph was like, yeah, I mean, I heard her blowing up at the winery. So Drew said, yeah, that was about Kandi's nephew. So Ralph is like, yeah, he got shot. Yeah, he got shot. Sir, calm down. Here go, Drew. I'm from Chicago. We don't use that word. Drew, please stop saying that. Please. Even Ralph was looking at her crazy. Ma'am, it doesn't make any sense what you're saying. Please stop saying that. So she's explaining to him that the reason she's mad is because Kandi made her upset. Not her, but she didn't say anything to Kandi. She took it out on her. She was like, I just was trying to check in and make sure that Kandi was good. And she wanted me to use a certain word, and we don't use that word. She said, then Marlo told me that her cousin or her nephew was somebody they got unalived that used to work for Blaze, and Kandi didn't send flowers. So Ralph was like, is this what this is about? She said, yeah, I think that's what this is about. So Drew goes, I mean, I'm going to have to really exercise some control because if she run up on me, I'm from Chicago. I'm ready to fight if need be. I'm from Chicago. Ralph said, oh, Marlo a big girl. She was like, you ain't never seen me fight before. Drew, pipe down. Okay, just pipe down. Your city doesn't define your capabilities, honey. It don't define it. Okay, because you can still get these hands no matter where you from. So what are you even talking about? And being from the Chi, you can throw hands, but you can't say the word pow pow. Okay, girl, goodbye. This is like a little montage of all the ladies. Kenya's seeing a virtual mock-up of her new salon. Sheree and her friend are talking about how many pumps she gets. Honey, hotel ain't hitting no nothing. Marlo is at the house being a Monty. They're saying what they love about each other. Group hug for the cameras and scene. Todd and Kandi are at the house. Todd is working on his movie script. Kandi starts telling Todd about Courtney putting together an escape room, and she doesn't really want to go. She's like, I really don't want to go to the event, but Monyetta called me and she's going. So now I have to find some things that I can get dirty because apparently it's going to be paint and whatnot. So as she's talking, she's like, let me call Kenya. So she FaceTimes Kenya. Kenya's putting a party together for Brooklyn. Everybody's there. The gang's all there. The kids are there, but Todd and Kandi at the house. So Kandi was like, are you going to the escape room? So Kenya was like, well, my name wasn't on the text. My name's on the list. Nene's isn't. Oh, child. Nene's isn't, honey. Well, shout out to season 1. So Kandi is like, girl, well, you know we're going to have to get dirty. Here go Kenya. Well, my hair is insured, so they better take it easy. Okay, policy on the tresses. So then Kenya tells her about what went down with Drew and Marlo. She was like, yeah, girl. Drew said that Marlo was mad because she didn't use the correct word. She used the word incident. Kandi said, well, I do remember her nephew and her telling me about it, but it was through a text. It has nothing to do with me or our restaurants or our businesses. So Kenya's like, yeah, I mean, she said you didn't send flowers when she brought it up to you. You kind of brushed it off. So Kandi goes, well, I mean, she's been around me and she never mentioned that. And that's my thing. Why are you waiting until now? I think that's why more people are not empathetic to it, because it just doesn't make any sense. Now, if you would have hit us with this when we were coming off the panorama, I would have been like, now say, what now, Kandi? Now, you know everything. People are losing their lives left and right. And this woman's, nephew just passed and this and that. But this is 2 years later. And you been kikiing like nothing was wrong. So Kandi feels like she's trying to get people to go against her business. Kenya's like, well, she's just trying to gather everybody to go against you. But I'm going to be there for you. And I felt like that was really nice. Kenya is a loyal friend when she finds somebody she actually likes. And she's going to go. She's going to support her, even though her name wasn't on the text. Now Kandi is pissed, okay, because she feels like Marlo is trying to attach negativity to her brand because of what went on with Melvin. And I feel like that's exactly what she's trying to do. People can debate all day, but I feel like that's exactly what she's trying to do. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. Because my thing is, why now? Last season, you and Kandi had a rift. You could have brought it up then, but you didn't. And another thing that I would like to know, when Melvin was pow-powed, did you send flowers? Did you send a text? Like, did you say, Kandi, I'm sorry this happened to your cousin? Did you say anything to her? I'm just saying. It's real convenient timing. So I just want to know if you did what you expect. Now, granted, it's not the same because one person was unalived. But at the same time, did you show concern? Okay, because both things need to have a level of concern. So it's the night of the event. Child, this is where it gets crazy. Drew finally showed up for a scene. Hey, girl. Happy to see you in a group setting. So they're all getting to the escape room. Drew gets there first. So Drew is looking at Courtney, cousin Courtney, and she's like, girl, you're so smart because even though we're not getting along, we're all going to have to work together to get out of the escape room. Girl, she ain't that smart. It's been done. Okay. Portia put together an escape room activity season 9, and the heifer still managed to argue right after that. That's when Kenya looked at Sheree and said she had on a tied Mama Joyce wig. Kandi was over there eating a chicken salad sandwich. She nudged her and was like, hey, God damn it. Don't talk about my mama. Oh, honey. So it's been done, but y'all just recycling things at this point, honey. We done already been to the escape room, but we'll keep on going. So then Marlo arrived and she's speaking. Hey, Drew. Baby Drew act like she ain't even see her. I said, oh, honey, Drew is real mad. Do you hear me? So then the rest of the ladies start to arrive. So Sheree is telling them about her new glam baby and how they call her Gigi and this, that, and this and that. So then Kenya shows up dressed like an extra from Greece. So then Kandi walks in dressed in all black like the Omen. Oh, baby, she dressed for a fight. Let me tell you something. When you come in all black with a pop of color, you ready to pop off, okay? So she ain't there but 5 minutes. She done sat down. So she get right to it. She immediately asked Marlo, now what was said now? And Marlo said, oh, okay, well, let's go over to the side, me, you, and Drew, okay, because she wants all parties involved to go over to the side and talk. Okay, I was like, okay, that's good. So now it can't be no he said, she said, he said. We gonna all be together. Good. So they get over to the side. So Marlo was like, first of all, what is it that you heard, Kandi? So Kandi said, I heard that you were upset with me because I didn't send flowers for your cousin. And so Marlo was like, no, my nephew. So Marlo starts to give her rendition of the story. She said she didn't like how they can say direct words when it comes to her and her past, but when it comes to Kandi, she can't say the word pow pow. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. So as she's talking, Kandi is trying to interject, and Marlo wants to finish her story. She's like, no, wait, okay, I'm practicing active listening, so I'm gonna need you to listen to me. Let me say what it is I have to say. So she reminds her that about 2 years ago, when she went to her house and she was helping Riley pack and whatnot, she brought up her nephew, and she was real emotional, and Kandi was acting like she didn't want to deal with it. Marlo, we literally saw her deal with it. I'm not understanding. I'm just not. So Kandi goes, why wouldn't I want to deal with it? She's like, listen, don't attach that to me. You running it back to her like it has something to do with me and my restaurant. Don't do that. So as things are getting heated, Monyetta walks over. Now, I already knew this was a bad move, but child, Kandi looked at her and hit her with that baritone. Back up, please. Oh, my God. Y'all, poor Monyetta, poor little Ting Ting. She trying to make sure Kandi don't be mad at her this season. I don't like that. I would be pissed, okay? Now, I know some people do not want to be bothered when they're in the heat or something. Just leave them the hell alone. I understand that. But I would be so embarrassed. Like, I feel like she damned if she do and she damned if she don't. Monyetta did an about face so good, honey, went and sat back down, sat right on back down. So it was like, what's going on? She's like, temperatures are high, and, it's like everything's going on. So Marlo and Kandi and Drew, they still over there. Marlo goes, he got a picture with you at the Christmas party and all this stuff. Kandi said he stopped working with us months before that even happened. Marlo said, well, what does that say about your character? Girl, what in the gaslighting hell are you talking about? How is her character in question when you talked about it and she even tried to comfort you by sharing with you a similar experience, trying to show you that she can relate to exactly what it is that you're going through? Somebody was like, yeah, they bring up things from 23 years ago, but I'm bringing up things from 2 years ago. Candi's like, listen, I am not refuting him working for me, but that still shouldn't make it my fault. So now they're going back and forth and back. So then over at the table, here go Courtney. She trying to make small talk with Sonya. Talking about, so girl, how are the kids? Sonya was like, girl, hush. Honey, I'm trying to see what's going on over there in case something pop off. Like, my friend is over there, so I'm not trying to hear what you're talking about. And Courtney, please be quiet. Ugh. So now they getting real heated. They're going back and forth and getting each other's faces. The other ladies see that it's about to pop off, so they jump up. They try to dissolve it. I'm like, oh my gosh. This, and I was with Sheree. She was like, we are in a restaurant. I was like, what is happening? Kenya's like, come on. She's trying to push Kandi away. Here go Kandi. No. Over there sounding like Blaze. Child, she was over there sounding like Blaze. So Sheree's like, we at a restaurant. You know how Sheree be, honey. Baby, this is embarrassing. I'm sorry, but baby, this is embarrassing. Are you not embarrassed? Honey, I would have been embarrassed. So Drew is like, she's being aggressive. Marlo needs to go. Ma'am, both of them were getting heated. Let's not do that. Okay? Now, look, I just got to call everything out. Both of them were getting heated. It wasn't just Marlo. It wasn't just Kandi. It was both of them. So Kandi tells Kenya, girl, if she pops off, don't hold me. Y'all know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of the next day after Pillow Talk. And remember that Kandi had got in Mal's face, and the next morning Nene and Greg went over to Peter and Cynthia's house, and Cynthia was talking about, you need to back up. That's what this reminded me of. Oh, honey, Kandi is telling Kenya, you need to back up, honey, because she don't want to get in her face. So Kenya's like, okay, I'm not going to hold you. Child, this was so chaotic. And I have to say this, if I'm heated, please step back. You don't know me like that, okay? Get back, honey. Shout out to Ludacris. Please back up, because I don't want you to be collateral damage. Ain't no telling what's about to pop off. So I'm going to need you out of my space, okay? Because I don't want nobody to sneak me. So I need you to move. So I understood what she was telling Kandi. What she was telling Kenya. So they're all trying to get Kandi out of the way. Marlo's still going. So they usher Kandi on out the restaurant. Outside, Kandi is like, if you want to talk about something, let's talk about how you slashed that woman's face. So she pulls out the text message that Marlo sent, because y'all know she keep a good receipt. So she's reading the text. Now, according to the next text message, Marlo wasn't too upset, because then she messaged Kandi Yams about joining Cameo. Talking about, it's, some lunch money for you. Now, if you were so upset, okay, this is how crazy this is. If you were so upset and irate that she didn't send flowers or she didn't offer to do more, why would you then send her a text message about joining Cameo? So inside, Sonya is trying to figure out why the conversation went left. Marlo said, because Kandi always has to be shown in the best light. Marlo, who in the hell wants to be shown in the worst light? By show of hands? Honey, I know not me. Outside, Drew is saying Marlo was trying to fight Kandi. So production is showing Marlo with her hands by her side. Drew, Marlo was not trying to fight Kandi. Okay? Like, you need to stop. She was like, yeah, she was just getting so aggressive. She was trying to fight Kandi. And they asked Kandi, did you feel threatened by Marlo? And she said, no, not at all. So Sheree goes in her confessional and she's like, yeah, Marlo can't get a word out without them bringing up her past. It's very disrespectful. You know what else is disrespectful? When Marlo sat right there and said that Kandi was a pro and slept with half of Atlanta last season. Why didn't you say that to Kandi? Why didn't you say that about Marlo? Kandi can't sneeze without y'all talking about her being a pro. Y'all been saying that for years. Well, they say they can't sleep with everybody. Sheree, please. Okay? Marlo is not innocent. She said things. Y'all all have said things. If she brought up her past last season, why can't she bring up her past this season? Because, see, this is the thing. We got to begin at the beginning. This all is stemming from things that happened last season as well. Everything was cool until Sheree and Marlo got together and decided they had a grievance with this woman. So then they started talking about how much of a pro she is. So now here we are on this season, and it's disrespectful for people to speak on her, but it's okay for y'all with this married woman who has children to say that she sleeps around. And then, Marlo, you said she can't even keep a broke man with the kind of a gene she passing out. Let's not forget that, honey, and I ain't forgot it and don't think I forgot. Moving forward. So Sonya goes outside finally to check on Kandi, but Kandi is leaving. Y'all see Sheree ain't moved, child. So she's like, I'm just not thinking clearly. It's just time for me to go. So Sonya is asking Drew, like, what are you talking about with Marlo attacking you? So Drew is telling her that's how all of this started. She's like, I didn't feel like I needed to use a certain word, so I used the word incident. She's like, I'm from Chicago. We don't use that word. For all of the kids on the South Side getting unalived every day, when you say that, it just perpetuates it. So we don't use that. Drew, please shut up. Just shut up. Just be real and say, I didn't say it because I don't want to. I didn't say it because it makes it sound worse. And I didn't want to put that on my friend because I'm friends with her. Just say that, because what you're saying right now makes absolutely no sense. Like, girl, I don't want you to repeat that again. We don't say that. We don't say that. Yes, you do. So please stop it. So then Kenya was like, I've never heard of that. Monyetta said, can she explain it to us again? Sonya said, okay, girl. They all think Drew crazy. Drew, just be quiet, honey. Just be quiet, child. So Marlo was inside with Sheree. She was like, if Drew would have touched me, I would have fallen to the floor. Yeah, Marlo is dangerous. Okay, this is the kind of person y'all don't want to play with, because she might not put her hands on you, but she gonna make sure she take your entire livelihood. So you might not want to mess with her. Y'all just stay away from her, honey, because she always got a plot and a scheme. Just leave her alone. So they outside talking about Marlo, and Drew is like, yeah, she a trick. Sonya's like, no, she's not a trick. So then Drew was like, yeah, she's a pro trick. Sonya was not about to be involved in them talking about her friends, so she went back inside. Sonya was like, yeah, Drew is trying to be Kenya and Kandi's lapdog. Well, Sonya, they could say the same thing about you with Marlo and Sheree. Like, Drew had her own issues with Marlo. So I think that's the reason why she's really upset. But she also had a run-in with Marlo. So, girl. So Sheree was like, yeah, Kenya and Monyetta act like they just crossed the burning sands of the candy-coated clique. And they had to pay an initiation fee. I hope they at least got a jacket. Well, we know Kandi ain't got to worry about you trying to be initiated because we know you don't like to pay. Anywho, I want to ask y'all this in the comment section, because I see a lot of people saying that, you know, they don't hold Kandi's feet to the fire and this and that and this and that. Who wouldn't want friends to have their back? Nobody is harping on Sonya or Sheree for having Marlo's back. It's clearly a divide in this group. So please make it make sense. Like, they have their own separate group of friends. Y'all all rock with who y'all rock with. I mean, it's juvenile. Don't get me wrong. It's giving high school. But I mean, it is what it is. So Marlo is inside telling them that she wants to leave her past in the past. She's getting all choked up. Child, you bring up rumors on these women all the time. So please. And I ain't gonna never forget when you told Kenya her own mama don't want her. I ain't gonna never forget that. So anyway, so they decided to go ahead and do the room anyway, even though Drew, Monyetta, and Kenya, they left. And that was the end of the episode. Child, this season is a chaotic mess. Do you hear me? And next week, Sheree is going to throw a So Gucci event where everybody will be rocking their finest Gucci and acting a fool. Oh, honey. Oh, my goodness, child. Oh, child. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Who do you think is in the wrong? Is Kandi just hollering just to be hollering? Ain't gonna bust a grape? Is Marlo in the wrong because now we've seen the receipts and it clearly shows that Kandi did in fact embrace her and also tried to be relatable? Did she want more? Did she want flowers? Did she want OLG, you know, deviled eggs for the repast? Y'all let me know. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.